So, something extraordinary happened yesterday. I met Steve Shives. And, I always thought if I ever ran into Steve Shives, I would punch him in the throat. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to punch him in the throat. I wouldn't, hunt him down so I could punch him in the throat. But if I ever, came across him somewhere, I would punch him in the throat. And so, when I walked into that truck stop bathroom and I saw him just, peeing in the urinal, I thought, this is my chance. But then I remembered a video that Jenny McDermott put out a little while ago where she talked about meeting Milo Yiannopoulos and how they got together and talked like people. And even if that never happened, that really is the right message. And so I figured I wouldn't punch him in the throat. I would just go and talk to him. So I went right up next to him and I start peeing. And I look over at him and I go, "You blocked me on the internet." And he's looking down, trying to ignore me, and I can tell he's really uncomfortable right now. And usually, if I go into a men's room and I see, say there's 5 urinals, and I see somebody standing at, we'll call it urinal number 1, the polite thing to do would be to go 2 over to urinal number 3. So that way, if another person comes in, they could go 2 over to urinal number 5. And then there'd be a urinal in between all 3 men, and it's only if a 4th guy comes in that there's any uncomfortableness. I don't like to do that. Normally, if I go in and I see somebody at urinal number 1, I'll go all the way over to urinal number 4. So that way, if a 3rd person comes in, he's got to stand next to one of us. And then I'll talk to them. Anyway, so I'm talking to Shives. And at first I think he's just really uncomfortable because here's a stranger talking to him in the men's room. And it turns out that wasn't the case. He looks at me and he says, "My wife is really mad at me and she's not letting me suck any dick." And at first I wasn't going to let him suck my dick. I wasn't, but he was so depressed and distraught about it that eventually I acquiesced. Fortunately, we were in a truck stop men's room, so there was already a glory hole in one of the stalls, so I wouldn't have to look at him. So we went into the 2 stalls, and I put my dick through the glory hole, and he starts sucking me off, and to my surprise, he was really good. Steve Shives is really good at sucking dick. Now, none of this actually happened. I just made it up. It's just, I'm just saying things that aren't true on the internet. Now, some of my longtime fans might be thinking, "Hey, Aldus, what are you doing wearing your old Riddler suit?" And, well, in the comments of my last presentation, I promised a fan that I would wear one of my special suits. In this one, I would think of some reason to do it, and I did. It's actually been a really long time since I've worn this suit. What the hell? Oh, I still have a pair of murder gloves in here. I should probably take that out in post. So, since I'm all dressed up in a crazy outfit, I decided we're going to go ahead and do this one in a different format tonight. We're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to do this one in the style of a kids' TV show. Yeah. So to that end, let me introduce you to Mr. Sock Puppet. Yeah. What's the matter, Mr. Sock Puppet? You look down. What do you mean you can't do the show tonight? Why not? You're high? What are you high on? Crack! Boys and girls, don't do crack. That's just for puppets. So why don't you go and get the tweets, alright? Go ahead and go get the tweets. Here's the spot where my jingle would be if Elfop finished my jingle. Boy, that was shit, wasn't it? Well, you can participate in Ask Aldus at any time. Go ahead and tweet me your questions. Use the hashtag AskAldus. Let's see here. Okay. At Professor Platypus asks, would you blow Chewbacca in the center of an Ewok circle jerk for $150,000? That would buy a lot of mouthwash, wouldn't it? Make it $250 and you got a deal. Let's see. Okay. At Cat Has Claws asks, what do you look for in a sexual partner? Well, typically in a sexual partner, I look for women who are not allergic to chloroform. And finally, at Eliza D. Wrights asks, hey Aldus, what should I get my dad for Father's Day? Well, that's a very good question. I was curious about this myself. So fortunately, I found an article published to The Independent, and I'll link to that article below, where one author says that the best gift that you can give your dad on Father's Day is the liberating gift of feminism. That's right. Liberate yourself by restricting the things you're allowed to do and say. There is no better Father's Day gift than telling your dad that he's a terrible man and is guilty for contributing to all of the bad things in the world. Hey kids, it's time for a Shanny cartoon!
Hi, remember me? You may have remembered me as the girl who's really crazy. Well, I could say I'm not as crazy as her, but I'm pretty crazy. And I thought you guys should love me, because I love my fans. I truly, truly love my fans, but Ellen, I'm drinking Long Island iced tea, so get ready for a show.
This is a good one.
What's up? Lots actually happened to me. I've been working my booty hole off. That's what, I can't tell you where I work due to a non-disclosure agreement, but I can tell you this. I am an awesome sandwich artist, so I might make a video sometime how to make the proper sandwich.
So they traded a child pornography enthusiast for Shanny.
Because I'm a working class girl now, and, that's kind of different. I haven't had a job where I, was continually standing for a really long time. I think, 18, all the other jobs were like, you could sit down here and there. You can't do it at this job. So, I'm getting exercise, which is nice because, my pants are keep getting looser and looser and looser.
No more. I'll go back and talk to the puppet. Don't make me watch any more of that. Hey there, boys and girls. Mr. Sock Puppet's kind of sad because he doesn't have anyone like him in the entire world to play with. But I tell you what, I know a genie named Kizzume, and maybe he can help. All right, let's take a look.
So now we have Hillary versus Trump.
Yeah, well, Hillary Clinton is your typical woman. She makes a pretty good secretary, but she'd suck at being the boss.
Hillary being the big corporatocracy supporter, and Trump just admitting what his corporate ties are, not trying to cover them up, talking about how he wants to handle things in that regard as to his approach to his corporate ties. Hillary doesn't even admit to these corporate ties, but you couldn't call her out on any of that stuff. And anyone who attempts to call her out on that stuff is called a right-winger.
Come on, Kizzume. It's 2016. Hillary Clinton should be elected because she's a woman. And if you don't vote for her, it means you're a sexist. Even if you are voting for Dr. Jill Stein of the Green Party, you're still a sexist.
So, serious mind, you talked about there being a list that some people make of things that would be required to want to vote for Hillary. Well, one would be just her being honest about her corporate ties.
Right.
And what she intends to do for the corporations who have paid her so much. Not pretend that she's not going to do them some favors. Be upfront about that sort of thing.
In a lot of cases, it really doesn't matter. There's a hashtag going around right now. Hashtag never Hillary. And I would vote for Trump before I vote for Hillary.
Yeah, that would make some people who want to vote for her now not want to vote for her because they don't really want to know the truth about any of that stuff. I'd like her to talk more about her relation with basically the military-industrial complex, so at least there's a bit of transparency in the plans that she actually has. Because we don't know her plans. We don't really know what she supports. Everything that she says publicly is led by polls.
That's correct. She supports whatever stances will get her in the White House. I mean, do you remember this old radio ad?
Hillary Clinton. She'll say anything and change nothing. It's time to turn the page. Paid for by Obama for America.
I'm Barack Obama, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
I mean, it's been 8 years. Maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe he doesn't think that she'll lie and say anything it takes to win and not change a goddamn thing. Maybe he doesn't think that anymore, but she is certainly going out of her way to prove him right. Alright, so what is it that we say? Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho. Let's try it. Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho.
Yeehaw!
No, I'm not going to be your friend. Get the hell out of here. Go on, get. Well, that was a pretty weird one, wasn't it? So, if you're still watching this video, then congratulations. You are my target demographic. And no matter what the people say who clicked off this video during the end credits, you are my favorite subscribers.